welcome to my program Random Alterations. We are going to discuss two interesting things today. This long dress with big split. I mean, it's a wrap dress actually with a belt, and it's got the nicely done corners. And the other one is these pants. We're gonna change the shape of the pants to as in sample. So it probably involves taking in and shortening. So let's start with these ones, and we're gonna go step by step. Let's start from the dress now. We're gonna start from marking the length, measuring the amount of shortening and marking the dress. This is about, let's do in centimeters. It's about 19.5 centimeters, a bit more. We can probably go with 20 from the bottom hem. So we're going to mark all around the hem. Next thing would be marking the cutting line, which is usually 2 inches from the finished line. So marking again all around for cutting. Now we're going to cut the hem along the cutting line. All the marking is finished, and luckily we don't have to unpick this hem. But checking again the hem is done with overlogging and blind stitching. So we're going to cut and do similar finish. I want to check the ends, the finishes with you before going for overlocking. This is the corners. This is how the corners are done. So as you can see, there is a panel going along the line, and the hem is that line. And the panel is a separate attachment. We don't want to undo completely the separate attachment and shorten and retouch it. See how it's done? That's the top stitching. So it's finished with the top stitching here. So this seam is done first, and then it's finished with top stitching. What we're gonna do, I decided to go a bit, simplify the process a bit. That's the aim of this program, simplified methods of doing alterations. It should be quick process. I'm gonna undo this part first. Here, that line, I started undoing. And then I'll show you how to do similar finish, very nice and clean finish, even similar way. Now we're going to be doing overlocking, and then continue with blind stitching. Now, before going to do machining, I want to display quickly how it's going to look like and how we're going to turn and prepare the corner. So that's the finished overlocking. And that's the finished hemline. Hopefully you can see that. Now that's the fold, original fold, and we want to recreate the original finish, original corner. We fold it like that along this final line, and mark it with the pin. I'll probably do this way, the way it should be stitched. The stitching should go along here, along this line. So I'm going to do the stitching, and I'll come back quickly. Now that's the finish. The corner is done. What's left here is going through this line, attaching the hem, finishing it with blind stitching. Done. Now let's check the final look of this dress. Okay, now let's proceed with the reshaping the pants we were talking about. Let's go with the steps. As you can see, the length is going to go up and the width is going to go down to 15 centimeter. It's half of the hem, 15 centimeters. And we're going to just starting from the about the knee level to the hem, going for about 1 centimeter. So in the width, we're going to reduce the width by 2 centimeters in total, which is 1 centimeter on each side seam. And the level from where we have to start reducing the width is about 36 centimeters from the hem. We got all the measurements done. Now it's time to unpick the pants and turn inside out and do the drawings. It's pressed, it's taken in, the machining is done. I use single thread on top and the double on the bobbin. And it's such a small amount that we don't need to cut. In this case, we can leave this extra fabric there without cutting. What's left is overlocking the finish and doing blind stitching as original. The original looks like this. So we're going to end up with the same. So the threads are these white ones, white and cream. Off-white, you can call it light beige. We finished the overlocking. It's light, light like cream or beige, kind of very light beige overlocking. The camera makes it a bit lighter as usual, but it's much better color. And finished with the blind stitching. Blind stitching looks like this. It's a special machine, that blind stitching machine, that makes that kind of seam. And from the other side, I checked 100 times to make it as invisible as possible. These little marks, they will go away when I do pressing. So it's really good now. If you don't have overlocking machine to trim the end of the fabric, the cuts, then you can use your zigzag machine. In domestic machines will do. And if you don't have blind stitching machine, if it's not an industrial environment, then you can use your hand stitching. If you like some sessions about hand stitching and techniques about hand stitching, like invisible stitching for hems, I can dedicate one session for that, so you can be more confident. Next step is going to be pressing, and I'll show the final look. Okay, we're gonna wrap for today. Hopefully you got something out of this session. Thumbs up please if you like it, and subscribe if you like to get some notifications from time to time. Okay, so we're gonna go back to normal business hours from next week on. I'll probably be able to do just one program a week, but I will come with more interesting alterations, so check this spot all the time. That's all for today. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.